Dear friends, welcome to our today's discussion. In the previous video, we discussed about why you should study about mental health. I introduced you to the topic of mental health, what it involves, and we said mental health is a state of social, psychological, and emotional well-being. And it is also good to note that there are what we call mental health conditions. When you are not functioning well socially, psychologically, and emotionally, there is what is likely to happen. And this is what is going to happen when you are not functioning well that way. One, you are likely to have mental disorders. Mental disorders like that is psychological distress or depression. You are likely to have traumatic encounters. Those are mental health conditions. Number two, psychosocial disabilities. Psychosocial is a combined word. Psychologically, the way you think, socially, the way you interact with other people, as well as mental states associated with significant distress. Mental states associated with significant distress, for example, when you lose a job, when you lose a loved one, you are likely to be stressed. Excessive stress is what we call distress, or bad stress is what we call distress. Impairment in functioning at work, functioning in the family, functioning in activities what you undertake daily. And the risk of self-harm. I know you have heard about suicide attempts. That is due to maybe when you are not able to make decisions, when you are not able to rule out or to reach an agreement about yourself, when you are experiencing a certain trouble or a challenge in life. And it is good to note that people with those mental health conditions experience lower level of mental well-being. But this is not necessarily always the case, because in the previous video, in the previous discussion, we said these mental health conditions affect everyone individually, and we cannot generalize. We cannot say the way one person will be affected in the same way the other person will be affected, no matter how close they are. And therefore, today we move to determinants of mental health. That is another topic we will be discussing. And there are what determines how you'll be affected by those mental health conditions. Number one, we say there are individual factors. Two, social determinants or factors. Three, structural determinants. What about individual determinants? We say psychological and biological factors such as emotional skills. These are psychological and biological factors such as emotional skills. Substance use, like using alcohol, genetic makeup, make people more vulnerable to mental health problems. So there are individual factors that can expose people to mental health conditions. And with structural and individual factors, we say exposure to unfavorable social. For example, you have problems with your family, you have problems with friends. Biological, that is economic factors. Economic factors like hiking places of items. You cannot be able to afford daily needs. You cannot be able to afford school fees or something of the sort. Geopolitical instabilities, that is unrest, violence, environmental circumstances, or for example disasters, and also including poverty, violence, inequality. That is, there is no equality in the society, for example, in terms of obtaining or being able to secure jobs or opportunities. And also environmental deprivation. Environmental deprivation, for example, you can be displaced because of wars in a country, for example, or because of, for example, when you do not have a place to live, you are deprived of somewhere to live. You do not have somewhere to live. These things or these occurrences are likely to expose you more to issues of mental health conditions. Or we can say basically increase people risk of experiencing mental health conditions. And the risk, we say, can manifest themselves at all stages of life, but those that occur during developmental sensitive periods, especially early childhood, are particularly detrimental, or they are likely to expose someone to more pain or mental health conditions. For example, a harsh parenting and physical punishment is known to undermine child health and bullying. A harsh parenting and physical punishment is known to undermine child health, and bullying is a leading risk factor for mental health condition. That is, if, for example, you encountered issues of mental health due to parenting, for example, your parents were too harsh to you due to punishment at home, you are not given opportunities to express yourself, you are likely to carry those experiences with you to the adulthood. And now, when you are encountering other issues associated with those conditions, you are likely to be more vulnerable to mental health conditions. Bullying at schools, see, it's a leading factor also that can expose you to mental health conditions or disorders. So that is it for today, friends. Next time we'll look at protective factors. What can minimize your exposure to mental health conditions? What can put you at the safer side of mental health conditions? So please stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and it is good also to share with your friends and refer to them. It's good to help one another through this channel. It's good also to subscribe so that also you'll be helped as we reach more people and more people about this discussion of mental health conditions. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Dear friends, welcome to our today's discussion. In the previous video, we discussed about why you should study about mental health. I introduced you to the topic of mental health, what it involves, and we said mental health is a state of social, psychological, and emotional well-being. And it is also good to note that there are what we call mental health conditions. When you are not functioning well socially, psychologically, and emotionally, there is what is likely to happen. And this is what is going